Let's briefly go over the syllabus for your online 055 class. This is the name, the course ID. Here's the description. This is the required information. My math lab is what we're going to be using. It's the online learning system that has all the assignments. You will need an access code for that. It comes bundled with your textbook. You can also purchase it on the website. No personal calculator will be allowed on the final exam. This system will have its own calculator. That'll be the only calculator that you'll be allowed to use on the final exam. The final exam is proctored. This is my name. These are my office hours. I do work in London. So if you're in the London area, Earl South is where I'm at, room 112A or room 110. These are my actual office hours. This is the office phone number you can reach me at. This is the email address. I check it quite often, so feel free to email me. This is the Associate Dean's information. She's the head of the division. So let's get to the meat of the class. 75% of the class I have control over. The remaining 25% is on the final exam. Final exam is comprehensive. It is proctored. You must make at least a 50 to have the opportunity to pass the class. Because you make a 50 does not mean you'll pass the class. It just means I get to calculate into your overall average. If you don't make a 50, then you cannot pass the class at all. Grading scale. This is a 10-point grading scale. MP means you make progress. Don't miss more than 4 assignments and your average between 55 and 69. I can give you an MP grade. This is a general description of what we're going to cover in the class. You will have until Wednesday, May the 2nd to take the final exam with the proctor. You must take it with the proctor. It's password protected. Only your proctor has it. It's 120-minute, 2-hour time limit. If you need more time, let me know before you take the exam. You do not have to wait till Wednesday, May the 2nd to take the final exam. If you finish all the units, there's 7 units total, you can take the final exam earlier. Just give me a little heads up notice for your proctor so I can give your proctor the necessary information. So if you want to finish this class in 2 weeks, that's fine by me. If you cheat on the final exam, you cannot pass the class. This is the sections we're going to be covering. It's all labeled in my math lab system. This is an online class, so no attendance policy can be accounted for. Withdrawal, you have until midterm to withdraw. Check the dates on the Somerset calendar for that date. You have until April 27th to withdraw with my signature, which means you'll send me an email and I'll grant it, but it's got to be done before the 27th. That's after midterm. Up until midterm, it's your decision. After midterm, you need my permission to send me an email. Make-up work, late work. The only penalties there's due dates for everything. All the assignments, including the exams, the exit exams, have an unlimited number of attempts with the highest grade recorded up until the due date. After the due date, you'll only be given 1 attempt on an exit test. That's what this means. So, 1 attempt, you probably want more. So finish this before the due dates. That way you can give yourself a little bit more leeway as far as the number of attempts goes. Also, there are bonus points for completing the work early. If you complete anything early, I will give you 5 points bonus on the exit test if the unit is completed early. Otherwise, no bonus points will be given. Here's the breakdown. The test consists of the grades, all the grades. Even though there are homeworks and quizzes, they're not actually calculated into the overall grade, but the tests are. Each test is approximately 10.71% of the grade. 7 exams, and then the final exam. Here's the overall procedure of the course, which are found in my math lab system. Everything is found in my math lab system. Each unit begins with unit practice. If you make less than 80% unit practice, you can go immediately to the unit exit test and take that. If you do this before the due dates for each particular unit, you can take the unit test as many times as you want. Each unit practice only has 1 attempt. Unit practice does not count towards the grade, only unit test does. If you do not make an 80% unit practice, then you must do all the homeworks and quizzes in the unit. and you must make at least an 80 on each homework and quiz to show that you understand the material before you be allowed to take the exit test. Now, each homework problem has an unlimited number of attempts, and each quiz has an unlimited number of attempts. Something you'll also notice that when you do take the unit practice and you don't make the 80 on the unit practice, which means you have to do the homeworks and quizzes, when you start doing the homeworks, you'll notice that some of those have been counted correctly automatically. Those ones that are counted correctly are based on the ones that you got right on the practice. Now, if you do make an 80 on unit practice and you feel like you're not ready for the exit test, or you do take the exit test and don't do as well as you want, you can still go back and do the homeworks and quizzes and then come back to the exit test if you want to. It's totally up to you. This is a summary of what we're doing, and this is the way all the 7 units are done. Take the unit practice. If you make an 80 or higher, you can go to the unit test immediately. Take that as many times as you want. There's no minimum score required on the unit test. If you don't make an 80, or if you want to practice, you can do the homeworks and quizzes, and those must be done at 80% before you can do the exit test. If you make an 80 on the practice, you can do the exit test anytime, no matter what you make on the homeworks and quizzes. And that's the way all 7 units are done. This is set up such that if there's material that you already know, that you already comprehend, there's no reason for you to spend a lot of time on the homeworks and quizzes. Go in there and get the exit test done immediately so you can proceed to the next unit. I strongly recommend finishing this class as soon as possible. It's to your advantage if you do. The class is broken down to where you only have to focus on one particular topic at a time, so it's set up pretty well for you. There are bonus points available. If you finish a unit test before the due date, I'll give you 5 points extra on the bonus. There's also in the discussion board some bonus points in there that could be done. That's what these two mean. This is for the discussion board, and this is for finishing units early. Now, if you do miss a due date, what's going to happen is, and say you haven't taken the practice, what I'm going to do is I will give you a score of 0 on the practice, which means that you got to do all the homeworks and quizzes at 80% before you take the unit test. Now, say you do the unit practice before the due date, but you haven't done the exit test yet. No matter what, anytime you attempt a unit test, no matter what, after the due date, you only get 1 attempt. And you may need more than 1, but if you're taking the unit test after the due date, you only get 1 attempt. So make sure you do everything before the respective due dates. And once again, the final exam has got to be taken by May the 2nd, but it can definitely be taken earlier, and it's highly recommended. It is proctored. I need your proctor information by Monday, April the 6th. That way it gives us a little time, in case you don't have it by then, for me to badger you until you give it to me. You can read this for yourself. These are the due dates. They're pretty spread out between 2 and 3 weeks. No reason for you not to be able to finish this class and do well. It's set up for you to succeed. Keep that in mind. You should succeed. All this other information is just stuff. Class officially begins January the 9th. If you have any questions, email me.